It is Wednesday, my dudes, and you know what that means? It is time once again to revisit not Velocity Lake, but Adventure Woods is the name that I'm still committing to here. Yeah, and I guess, you know, I start these commentaries by saying, hey, it is Wednesday, my dudes, and you know what that means, but I guess, like I kind of covered in quite extensive detail last week, or actually, I don't know if it was last week. I don't know. I still don't know the pace at which I'm going to be publishing these videos, but regardless, people might not know the context behind me saying, it is Wednesday, my dudes, you know what that means? And basically, to break that phrase down, it is Wednesday, my dudes, is a very tired old boomer meme, because I'm a very old person, apparently, by today's internet standards, but also, yes, I used to always publish Planet Coaster content every Wednesday. I've made quite a few series. Let's see, I started off with Mirror Lake. That was the first Planet Coaster series I did. The second series I did was Neptune Park. Then I did a little mini-series making a Christmas park called Mistletoe Peak. And then I made Velocity Lake, my magnum opus for Planet Coaster. And then I sort of stopped completely. But now I'm back. And welcome to this episode, in which we pick up basically where we left off. So last episode, I'm going to say last episode now instead of last week. Last episode, basically I built this roller coaster that you can see here, and I built the park entrance building, and basically I built everything that you can see in this video, apart from the stuff I've placed so far in this video, because this is only episode 2 of I don't know how many episodes there are going to be of this series. I don't know. I mean, I don't want to retread as much of what I said for the last episode, because I feel like I'm leading myself onto a path where I'm going to start repeating myself. But basically, I don't know how many episodes there are going to be in this series. I don't plan on it being as long and drawn out as the 70 episodes that Velocity Lake ended up spanning, but that's it. I have no idea. So it's going to be a surprise for me as much as it is for you guys. Anyway, what are we doing in this episode apart from picking up where we left off, like I already said? Well, we're going to work around basically all the buildings and infrastructure around not only the park entrance. I know that, I guess, is a building, but more buildings around the park entrance, as well as stuff around the roller coaster. So the station garage, like the bit where where the trains can go and sleep. There's probably a technical term. You know, when you go get a train off the main track, you transfer it into the shed, the coaster shed. Is there a proper name for it? I don't know. I'm watching a lot of Nerd Chat Show. He's one of the people that inspired me to get back into Planet Coaster. Go watch Nerd Chat Show's Planet Coaster channel. It's great. I mean, the big inspiration for me to get back into this game was because Silverette and Masked Bandit, Total Bays, started re-uploading Planet Coaster. And I was like, you know what? I am enjoying watching these videos, and I would like to also play this game. And here we are, rambling down this stream of consciousness for however many minutes this video is. Oh, I've just zoomed out on my video editor's timeline, and it's a long one, but we're going to get through it regardless. What have I done so far? Well, I've built a shutter door for the coaster shed, I think was the name I eventually stumbled across and, you know, settled upon. I actually really like that way of constructing shutter doors or rolling shutters. I don't know what the term is. I'm not an architect. Where you just take a load of the coaster supports and squish them all together really close. It gives a good little impression that the door is like a rolling shutter. And I guess rolling shutter's a camera turn, isn't it? But you guys know what I mean. I shouldn't be dwelling on this so much because you guys know what I mean. But at the same time, I'm also aware that pedants, you pesky pedants, supporting my content by commenting and boosting the algorithm, you guys will say, actually, Matt, rolling shutter is a camera term. And I will say, yes, I know. I knew that. I didn't say it because I assumed that it would be obvious, but now I'm saying it. So now I'm covered. People are going to say that anyway, but what can I say? What can I say? Hey, are you a farmer? What do you farm? And do you represent? There you go. There's a question to leave in the comments that only the true fans will be able to answer. There we are. I don't know if anyone's... I'm looking forward to reading some comments. I do like reading the comments of this Planet Coaster series. Well, this Planet Coaster series. All my Planet Coaster series. And that's actually one of the things I genuinely really missed about making Planet Coaster content on this YouTube channel, because my space news content and my Kerbal Space Program content typically gets a lot more views. You know, I'm not saying I'm not complaining, saying, you guys, you're not sharing, you're not liking and sharing and subscribing. By the way, do like and share this video, just saying. But I'm not accusing you guys of not sharing or not doing enough, blah, 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 blah. It's more like my Kerbal videos and my Space News videos get a lot more views. So I get a lot more comments, obviously. And it's just hard to have an intimate relationship, not in a weird way, with commenters. Like, I don't get to read as big of a proportion of the comments as I do with stuff like Planet Coaster, which gets far less views, so far less comments. But I feel like the comments are probably from people that are like more into this channel than maybe most. So it's nice to have kind of comments from, I don't know, I don't want to offend anyone. Like, I don't want to say you're not a real fan if you don't watch my Planet Coaster videos, because I would be a massive hypocrite there, because there are channels that I don't watch any of their content for except for a couple. A big one is The Escapist magazine. I'm really sorry, The Escapist. I'm only here for Yahtzee. I'm only here for zero punctuation. I don't care about anything else. I'm sorry, but it's the truth. I'm spitting true facts here for me, for my personal taste. So I get it. Honestly, I do. So I'm not, you know, saying that you're not a true fan of this channel if you don't watch this series. I'm just saying that the odds of you watching this series means that either you really like Planet Coaster and you've never seen my channel before and now you're really confused about this entire commentary thus far, or you like my personality for some reason. And so then the comments are more likely to be people that are like this. I don't know. I've just sort of blacked out, and I don't really. Did any of that make any sense at all whatsoever? Hope it did. If not, I am sorry. Guys, check out my Patreon page. No, that was a tasteless joke, and I'm very sorry. But yes, I feel like I was talking about something before I began that massive tangent that absolutely went nowhere. But is there anything I wanted to address thus far? I'm now just sort of trying to mentally flash back to all of those brief moments where I looked at the screen, and I don't think there was anything significant that happened that I need to, you know, specifically address. So I think we're good. We'll just carry on. We'll just press on. I'm gonna have a little sip of water. You see, ordinarily I'd be professional and I would just pause my commentary just there, but it's a long video. And it's already descended into chaos, this commentary. So I've got to just take any break I can to kind of drag this out. But yeah, I do like the fact that these videos get slightly less views than my Kerbal Space Program videos, because I generally can actually read every single comment. And it's just nice. I can just have a bit more of a conversational tone with people. And yeah, I feel like people think that big YouTubers, and I know that's very arrogant to me to describe myself as a big YouTuber, but I feel like, you know, just over 500,000 followers, I'm at least, you know, somewhat in the, you know, C tier of YouTubers. I feel like there's a bit of a, I don't know, general understanding that YouTubers don't really read their comments, and that's not true at all. But it's very difficult to stay on top of comments for, you know, a series in which I regularly get over 100,000 views, which would be like my Kerbal Space Program videos. And I guess my Space News videos usually get around the 70 to 100k mark. And it's just, it's hard, you know, it's hard being me. The smallest violin in the world is currently playing. But it's nice. That's why I've been like super into publishing on my second channel recently. Go subscribe, by the way. Shameless plug. Because I don't get very many views at all. Like usually 1,000 views for a video on that channel is a massive success. But at the same time, I like that because I don't get that many comments, so I can be sure I'm able to read every single comment and respond to all the ones I don't. So if you write a comment and on this video and I don't respond, that doesn't mean I've not seen it. I'm just human. I can't respond to all of them, and a lot of them, there's not much I can really add, so I just sort of leave it. But yeah, there is a very good chance that I will have seen your comment if you comment on this video. Obviously, if you've written the comment in 2037, I probably haven't. Or actually, if you've written the comment more than like a week after it's up, then maybe I haven't seen it. But I'm just saying, if you're there on the day or within the first 72 and a half hours, very specific, I think there is a pretty good chance that I'll see your comment, and whether I reply to it or not, I'll have seen it. So this commentary has been a bit all over the place, and I guess a part of the reasoning behind that, see what I'm dragging now, is because of the fact that really what is there to talk about? I'm just placing fences under building generic themed buildings. So I'm just allowing my mind to just spill itself out into this microphone, and hopefully it comes out as a coherent thing, and if it doesn't, then hopefully the footage is good enough to provide some sort of level of entertainment for you guys. But yeah, it's basically just a lot of placing fences and walls. A lot of strangely, I've had a lot of comments saying that, wow, you're so good at Planet Coaster, how do you make Planet Coaster look so good? This doesn't even look like Planet Coaster. And first of all, I say you're wrong. I'm not that great at this game. I feel like I've played it enough that I'm probably above average, but I'm still, there's a lot to be desired comparing me to an actual real Planet Coaster YouTube channel. I've been looking at a lot of them recently, so if you want some quick fire recommendations, Mike Sheets, Masked Bandit, and Silverette were always the OG 3 I would always watch a lot of. But I've been watching a lot of Moomin Little Socks recently, and who's the guy? Nerd Chat Show. Great channels there, and there are a few others as well, but those are the ones I've been watching, so those are the only ones I can really honestly recommend, because I just haven't seen the others. I'm sure they're great channels, I just ain't seen them. So yeah, those people. And fun fact, Moomin Little Socks, his channel logo was one of the logos I was thinking about adopting for my channel, because Moomin Little Socks, that's ML, Matt Lowne, and his channel logo is like similar to one of the logos I was toying with when trying to design my channel's branding. And I just sort of Googled a description of the logo design. I don't remember how I found it, but that was my first introduction to his channel. I was like, oh, this guy, he's stolen my idea, despite the fact that obviously we had the thought independent of each other. But yeah, that's a fun fact about that channel there. Now, what is there to discuss? Oh, I tell you what, I can look at the screen and think of things to talk about based on what I can see on screen. How novel would that be that I commentate over the footage itself, or commentate about the footage itself? I'm still not talking about it, am I? I'm just waffling again. But yeah, I thought it'd be nice to add some functionality to this entrance building. It sort of tapers off into this awkward end and doesn't really have any function to it. So I thought, let's just build a staff building. But then I placed a staff building and realized this building is way too low, so I had to raise the height of it, and then here we are. And that's a big issue, I guess, or contention. Actually, those are synonyms almost, aren't they? Of one of the problems I have, and it's not just me, a lot of Planet Coaster players have this problem, is that Planet Coaster scale is so big. It's way bigger than normal, to the point where like doorways and things are comically large. And I get that, theme parks are fantastical places. They're not meant to represent real life. That's obviously a design aesthetic that the devs of this game are going for. But things like, I don't know, the toilet blocks and the first aid centers, which are just meant to be purely functional, and really, especially for like a first aid center, you don't want that to be, cartoonishly themed to a theme park. Or you want that to be purely, function over form, nothing else. So that was a challenge I had to face when building this area of the park. Not right now. Here I'm building a fence. Again, that's the title of this episode. It's just placing fences and sacrificing many hours of my life. You only live once. Life is short, and I chose to spend this non-insignificant portion of my life placing fences in this theme park. But I decided to save a little bit of time by basically duplicating this piece with a lamppost as well. Obviously, I'm not going to keep all of these lampposts in the final product or in this video, but it makes it sort of the placement of the lamppost relative to the fence behind it is consistent. So, because I'm placing the same piece over and over again, basically. And then once I've placed the final fence piece, I can go back and just delete the lamppost as required to get the desired amount of spacing. I feel like that was a complete mess of a commentary. Hopefully it worked out okay and sounded understandable. And let us move on. What am I doing here? Oh, I thought I'd do a fun little effect here by selecting every other fence piece and just changing the height to add a little bit of, I don't know, visual flair. Hey, how about that? Yep, a lot of trees being added already. As I said, the main theme, and theme is in very loose air quotes there, is forest park, because trees are a very easy theme because it's just trees. You haven't got to build any complex buildings or anything like that to address the theme. It's just plant a lot of trees, plant a lot of shrubs. That's your theme. That's all done. Unfortunately, I cannot escape from the harsh realities of life forever, and I will have to accept that I need to build buildings at some point to, for this theme park. I've already built a few, so, that's already been established. But I have to build some buildings around the main entrance. I've built 2 little shops just there. I haven't built a building to encase them just yet because... actually, that's what I mean, guys. It's really hard to directly talk about stuff that's going on screen because you can see how just quickly I just get distracted and start working on other areas of the park. So I'll start. I've been doing this kind of thing for many years, commentating over Planet Coaster footage, and it's so fast and sped up, and I as a player get so bored focused on one specific thing for any amount of time that I'm quickly just chopping and changing between tasks. And so I try and talk about something that's happening on screen, and then 3 seconds later I'm off doing the roof of a queue line, and now I'm back doing something else. Hopefully it's No, I was about to say, hopefully it's addressing that pink and blue building there, but it's not. I'm now just fine-tuning the paths, but I am building some toilet blocks. Isn't that fun? But yeah, I guess another sort of thing I'm going to address in this episode is building the buildings that will encase these shops. And by shops, I mean the 3 toilet blocks, the pink and blue stores. I forgot what they are, but I'm pretty sure they're both Cosmic Cow. One is Cosmic Cow Ice Cream, one is Cosmic Cow Milkshakes. Don't quote me on that. Ha ha ha, someone's going to write, don't quote me on that, Matt Lowne 2022 in the comments. It's going to be really funny, and I have to like that comment and laugh and pretend it's funny, but really, I hate you. I hate you. There's no joke. I hate you. I joke. I love you. I love anyone that comments. Comment, like, share, subscribe, do all of those things. Do all of those things. I already did this joke, it's fine. Let's, I'm just sort of treading water, guys, while I wait for this. There you are. I've placed an information booth. That's what this episode's about. That's the focus of this episode. I mean, it's very evident how out of practice I am with improv commentaries. It's no secret really that the most uploaded or most frequently uploaded series on this channel as of late is Space This Week. Completely scripted, 100%. I'm really sorry to shatter the illusion anyone thought that was ad-libbing Space This Week. I ain't. It's entirely scripted. And I've been, sort of straying away from doing regular Kerbal Space Program content. I sort of do it in bursts. And so overall, I'm a little bit out of practice with the whole, impromptu, improv, ad-lib, whatever you want to say, commentary. So now I'm trying to do Planet Coaster, which is like the absolute most difficult series to commentate over because literally I'm watching the video playback at, I can tell you, I did this last time as well, but I'm going to say when there's a frame for me. Frame. That was a big one. Frame. It's that slow, guys, okay? So I can't really say much about what's going on screen because it's so laggy and jittery because I've sped the footage up to be so fast. And I've added my, post-processing effects to make the footage look a bit nicer, which is probably my own fault. The preview would probably play back a bit quicker if I didn't do that. But I can see that I finished this building whilst I was going on that little woe is me, tangent just then. I'm just making it generic. As I said, the theme of this park is trees. Everything else is just low budget, well, not super low budget, but modestly budgeted buildings. And in this case, I'm just going with simple painted wooden buildings. So I'm going with the wood and white. That sounded like I said wood and white. So wood and white for this information booth here. And I'm going to, spoiler alert by the way, guys, I'm going to use the same sort of style for the toilet block as well. Here I was toying with what to place here. I added this massive Adventure Woods logo there. That will change. I'm going to add 2 screens. One is going to be the actually, I spoke too soon. Here I am placing them here. There we go. We've got the monorail departures board and we've got a queue time board. I made both of those graphics in Photoshop. So spoiler alert, I guess, although I just said it, so it's kind of done now. But there is going to be a monorail in this park that takes guests from the park, you guessed it, to, I don't know, an off-site hotel. Think Disney World, right? They have monorails connecting all of their parks. in my little seri, Planet Coaster things, I've always done a car park, but there's a monorail that just arrives at the park and then disappears into the hillside, going off to some unknown location. I did that for Neptune Park. I did that for Velocity Lake. I did that for Mistletoe Peak, and I've done it for this one. Adventure Woods. Title not necessarily final. And so, that's kind of my headcanon. There's going to be some giant off-site car park or hotel complex or what have you, and there's going to be a monorail that takes guests between all the parks and this hub land there. There's going to be on-site parking, obviously. There's going to be a car park for the theme park, but it's going to be quite small, quite limited. It's going to be, you've got to pay a premium to park there. We want to encourage guests to park in the Hubland car park and get the monorail to the theme park, because it serves many advantages. It means I don't have to build quite as big of a car park for the theme park, and I hate building car parks, so that's a win there. And I already forgot. I had a thing to say. Oh, and it links my series together. And that was it. I remembered. It's to place the... This is terrible. So basically in Planet Coaster, guests will... If you just start a park in Sandbox and don't do any sort of setting up with the scenario editor, guests will just emerge out of a cave, basically, in the side of the map, and you connect to the entrance to that cave with the rest of the park, and that's how it works. But in scenario editor, which is what I'm building this park in, you can actually change where guests spawn from. So if you actually look inside that cave the guests emerge from, there is a spawner, like a guest spawn point, and you can move that spawn point in scenario editor. So since Neptune Park, I've always placed that spawner just inside the monorail station that's connected to the boss. That kind of serves as a place for the guests to spawn, and it kind of makes it more realistic in that we've got a very small car park, but here's why, and it connects all my Planet Coaster series. Those were the 3 points that I wanted to say and just stumbled through it so slowly. Guys, it's, I'm not going to lie, I'm flagging, all right? I'm off to Bike Park Wales this week, and it's a big weekend for me. My plan was to not bother making a Space News video for Monday because I'm away all weekend. How am I going to edit it? But this is a week commencing September the 19th, you know. And a lot has happened. Elon Musk has gone on a Twitter spree with regard to Starship contest. There's so much to talk about. We've got a Delta IV Heavy launch, which I don't know if it's happened yet. It's not due to happen until Friday. We've had so much happen. I'm like, I can't not make a video this week. So I've been spending loads of time editing that, and it's really late. And we've got to have my dinner. I haven't had my dinner yet. And so I thought, you know what? I've not got any dinner in the fridge. My plan was to just walk to the shop and, I don't know, pick up a frozen pizza or something, but I ain't got time for that now. I do, however, have some frozen meat in the freezer. Usually with frozen meat, you've got to, like, let it defrost over, like, a few hours because the house is not hot enough for it to defrost in a short space of time. Enter Matt's office. Furnace for humans, as I've mentioned many times on this channel. I thought, I don't know. Now I'm like doing a recording. I've been spending ages writing a script for Space this week, and now I'm recording a Planet Coaster commentary in Sony Vegas, which eats up loads of CPU like power. The room is heating up, so I closed the window, closed the curtain, closed the door, and boxed in. And I've got a plate of frozen meat in front of me. And I can see it's defrosting. The plan is working. But as I say it out loud, I realize how ridiculous this situation is. I should like just have cameras around my house and just build a sitcom about my life. Like it's, I'm just sitting here doing a commentary for a couple of hours, you know, with a plate of defrosting beef in front of me. And my water, I'm going to take a sip because I think I know it's going to be very warm. I'll just confirm that for you guys. Oh, it was a big gulp. I realized how thirsty I was when I took that gulp. And yes, I can confirm it was very, very warm. So yeah, that was a good way to drag out some time. What am I doing now? Let's have a look at the screen for the second time in this entire video, I think. I decided it's a bit bland, this side of the station, right? You got to walk past this big, you know, foreboding brick wall. Let's fill it in with a photo booth and a locker station. So If you guys have never been to a theme park before, then I'm going to fill you in. There are usually cameras on rides. They take your picture as you go around. Then after the ride, you can go to the little booth near the ride entrance, and you can purchase a picture of you on the ride. And that's what one of these booths is going to be. The other one's going to be lockers. If you've got a big bag or I don't know, a small child you don't love very much, you can put them in the locker, and that will stop them from falling out of the ride, basically. This is temporary, by the way. The background for this guy, I just used the scenery piece with those computer. I don't know what it's called, but it looks a bit rubbish, basically, at the moment. That's just temporary. That's placeholder. It won't change for many, many episodes, unfortunately. But rest assured, at some point before the heat death of the universe, hopefully, I will upload a Planet Coaster video in which I make that booth look a little bit better. Here's a very quick and dirty locker bay. I don't even remember if I make this any better, but I mean, it's such a minor detail. It's one of those things that, like, no one's going to actually look in, are they? No one's going to see this if they download the map from Steam when this I'll upload this map to Steam, by the way, when this series is done. No one's going to really look that hard here, but it's more of those things like, I'm just a sucker for detail. I'm a sucker for detail, and I know people will obviously will see all these things in the video. So it's kind of my own fault, really. If I was just not a narcissist and wanted to make videos about every video game I played, then I wouldn't have to worry about details like that. But I am, so I do. And that's that story concluded there. Here I am just adding the signage. Man, I hope if we ever get a Planet Coaster 2, and I really hope we do, we get better fonts. The fonts in this game for the signs are so bad. They just suck. I don't know, like that one looks okay, but that's like the only generic themed text, and some of the texts are so squishy and low res that you can't read them very well, and I'd love a bit more sort of customizability with signs. I'd also like to be able to reduce the scale of some of the oh my gosh, I forgot to talk about that completely, but I mentioned earlier that I hate the scale of some of the buildings in this game because everything is way too big. So you might have seen for the toilets I built, I massively reduced the size of the doorway, which looked a bit rubbish, but it was serviceable, I suppose. It makes it look a bit more realistic. Speaking of rubbish, I've just fast forwarded through the building of this entire structure. This is the first aid building, and yes, I know it looks terrible. I decided to try and build it out of wooden planks to see if that technique would work, and it didn't. It looks rubbish. Consider that a temporary structure. I am going to go back and replace it and make it look good and in keeping with the rest of the park that I've built thus far, but it's going to be a few episodes away, so I thought I'd just show the finishing of that first aid building to so you're not watching a future episode and saying, why is that building there? Where is that? I don't remember seeing that get built. That's just that. That's just life sometimes. Sometimes life don't go perfect. Even for perfect Planet Coaster YouTubers such as I. I'm the best Planet Coaster YouTuber. Don't at me or at anyone else asking them to debunk that claim. Just accept it as fact. We can all move along. I'm now just scanning this 2 FPS footage to see if there's anything else I need to talk about. Oh, I've got those custom benches there. I remember actually seeing me build those custom benches using a real path bench feature as a guide, but I was on a tangent about something, I don't remember what, so I never got around to talking about it, and now here we are, rapidly approaching the end of the video, to be fair. So the Mr. Bones' wild ride is nearly over, or Mr. Matt's wild ride is nearly over. We're going to finish up this episode, I hope this is the final thing we do in this episode, with this footbridge here. So, I don't know, it's a tricky one, because in previous Planet Coaster series that I've done, so Neptune Park, Crimson Tower, and Velocity Lake, and I guess to an extent Mirror Lake as well, I've always taken pride in building big, elaborate bridges, because I just think it looks cool having this big, iconic structure. But in reality, a theme park like this would not have a big, elaborate suspension bridge for crossing not only a very narrow section of water, but also a very shallow section of water. So I thought, let's make things a bit more realistic. Let's make this just a standard iron bridge with a sort of girder underneath the platform. So that's what I'm doing here. I don't know how well this is going to translate into watchable video with the footage sped up so fast, because I had to have the camera lurching around quite a lot to get things measured and leveled and look realistic. One of the tricks that I suck at, that people like Silverette are very good at, when they're filming time lapses in Planet Coaster, they try and keep the camera as still as possible. It's something I try and do when making Kerbal Space Program construction time lapses, and I think I'm pretty good at those because I'm good at Kerbal Space Program. I ain't quite so good at Planet Coaster, and the temptation to just keep moving the camera around to make sure everything is okay is too great for me, and it doesn't always translate into having very good, watchable, fast time lapses. So I don't know how fun this part of the video, or like how hopefully no one's vomited watching this footage or any of the previous footage, to be fair, but I hope it was digestible. Looking at the 3 FPS preview here, it looks okay. This is okay, right? I'm keeping the camera nice and still. It's quite satisfying actually watching all the pieces disappear at that sort of pace. And there we are. There is the bridge pretty much done. And oh my gosh, the episode is pretty much done actually. So I hope you enjoyed it. Don't want to just cover this up with my end screen just yet until the bridge is finally done. But I think, looking at it there, it's done, as is everything else that I built in this video, aside from obviously the temporary medical building. So there's me saving the park. So there we are. That's the file done. We're going to do a quick zoom out and have a look at what we've achieved thus far in these 2 episodes. Next episode, as the names of my Patreon members, by the way, and Patreon members appear on screen. They make this content possible. So join their ranks if you want to by clicking the link in the description and or on screen. Next episode will be the construction of the monorail station, I think. Now I've said that, I'm not quite sure. I'm like 83.75% sure the next episode will be the monorail station. So, the background's gone black. I've run out of footage, which is probably really